Good afternoon, YWCA viewers. This is Series 3, Episode 5 of The Butterfly Effect, sponsored by KeyBank and Pursuit Lending. KeyBank Foundation's mission is to support organizations and programs that prepare individuals for thriving futures. When people and organizations come together, great work gets done, and our entire region thrives. KeyBank thanks everyone at the YW Northeastern New York for making a difference. Pursuit provides businesses with affordable loans and resources so that they can transform and grow. They are an Albany-based community-focused lender, 100% invested in the success of their clients. If you are a small business owner looking for funds to start, grow, or recover, you can learn more at www.pursuitlending.com. We cannot thank these two amazing businesses enough for their support, not only this month, but year-round. This is an empowerment series where volunteer hosts interview inspiring people in our community, and who's more inspiring than Jenica Huff, because November is Homelessness Awareness Month. We are choosing to discuss topics around housing and gratitude. Today, we have Jenica Huff of Better Community Neighborhoods, Inc. Hi, Jenica.
Hi, Kim. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
What are you doing today?
We're doing great, and we're so glad to have you with us. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, why you're even on here today with us? What do you want to tell us about you?
Well, a little bit about myself. Currently, I'm the CEO of Better Community Neighborhoods, Inc. We're an affordable housing development organization. We are the result of the merger of B&I, Better Neighborhoods, Inc., and the Community Land Trust of Schenectady in 2020. We're the first merged neighborhood preservation corporation in the state of New York. And our mission is to build and sustain resilient communities where all people can flourish. And so we do that a number of ways through creating both rental and home ownership opportunities. We provide property management services in partnership with other organizations throughout Schenectady, and we manage our own properties. And then we also provide housing counseling services, pre-purchase, post-purchase, foreclosure prevention, and down payment assistance. And then we also administer owner-occupied rehab grants to enable those on fixed incomes to remain in their house and address critical code issues and keep their houses in Schenectady. So that's a little bit about me and what I do with Better Neighborhoods, Inc.
Yeah, and so for Better Neighborhoods, tell us a little bit about the history of that organization, like years in operation, and when you came in, and what exactly is your role? Like, what do you do? Because you're not a one-person job. There's more than one of you in the office. So how big is your team?
We have 13 people currently on our team, and we have a development team, property management team, and a housing counseling team that work with the same goal of providing equal access to affordable housing opportunities, be it rental or home ownership or current ownership. Better Neighborhoods, Inc. was established in 1966, and the Community Land Trust was established in 1991. Both had similar missions in Schenectady, advancing similar goals, but unfortunately, in some instances, competing for the same pot of money. So that was really the impetus for the merger to create Better Community Neighborhoods, Inc., was to eliminate that competition, since we were geared towards the same end with respect to creating affordable housing and gain in capacity, which we have done. To date, since the merger in March of 2020, we have advanced $1.7 million of owner-occupied rehab funding across 70 properties. We have been providing between around $40,000 to $50,000 a month in down payment assistance, and we have just this past fiscal year counseled about 280 some odd households. In the past 2 years, 127 of those purchasing their first homes.
Wow, that's impressive, and just giving somebody a key to open a door.
Yes.
Gain access to a whole bunch of other opportunities when you have your own home, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it was interesting entering this role during the pandemic. So I took the reins in March 2nd, and then I shut all the offices down by March 13th. But I think it provided us an opportunity to really look at how the public narrative and discourse on a national scale was one of fear and scarcity. And so encouraging the team to flip that narrative on its head to one of opportunity and education. And through that lens, we were able to look at how we needed to overhaul our systems to better serve the residents, to our community.
Right. And this isn't obviously not new because of the pandemic, housing struggles, home ownership, homelessness. So talk about, you talk about this so eloquently. When I speak with you, I'm like, the knowledge is amazing. So who inspired you? Like, how did you get into this line of work? Because of lived experience and inspirations from past years?
Yeah. It goes back to when I was really young. So I moved around a lot when I was growing up. And when I was living in North Carolina, the second time I was in a tornado. And I was a little one. I was in elementary school, and I got to see the community around me coming together in ways that they hadn't in the past. And I was curious as to why, how people, like, what was it that brought them together? And really it was this common goal of community development and redevelopment and addressing critical needs for people to remain stably housed. And so that curiosity just kind of took me through school, really, and trying to understand more about it. And I originally went to college, wanting to, work for FEMA and address issues after major disasters, but got into urban and regional planning and looking at housing issues specifically. And then having read the book, There Are No Children Here by Alex Kotlowitz, which chronicled two boys growing up in public housing on the south side of Chicago in the Henry Horner homes. And just that opened my eyes to how critical housing is to providing stability for families and communities. And having moved around a lot just myself and having that experience, knowing what it means to be known and seen in community and in family is so important. And part of being known and seen is being in a stable community, which means housing, it means healthcare, it means services, it means, all of these things, access to food. And so how do we facilitate and provide that for the most vulnerable in our communities has been a passion. So I graduated from college and immediately started working for Habitat for Humanity of Greater Los Angeles in California, and my career has continued from that point. I've never not worked in community development in some form or fashion.
So West Coast to East Coast, some differences. I know it's not one of our questions, but being out there and being here, what do you see? And I don't know if you can share that differences and similarities in regards to the housing.
Yeah, I mean, well, the Northeast is hard. The seasons are very different, right?
Yeah.
Southern California, you have homeless issues all year round, and you do have that all year round in New England also, but the provision for those is very different. And the infrastructure and just how development has occurred, in the Northeast, it's more vertical. In the Southwest, it's more horizontal.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of an initiative right now in LA County specifically to convert garages into studios, into dwelling units for homeless people. And they're incentivizing that through local taxation to provide rental assistance to homeowners who are willing to allow for their properties to be converted in this way to allow for housing.
Wow.
For vulnerable populations out there. There's a large focus on supportive housing in California, as there is in New York and Connecticut and Massachusetts specifically. So, but you're right, it does look different. The way
Mm.
that the communities have formed around different resources and during different time periods, uh, uh, the steel industry and just the housing stock and the age of the housing stock is vastly different also
Right.
between the, at least Southern California and New England. So,
Okay.
and
Thank
that
you.
informs.
That's amazing that they're actually looking to repurpose garages. I mean, that's the need we're talking about is needing that type of support and infrastructure for folks who are needing housing like that.
Mhm,
That's an amazingly creative way to think
mhm,
about finding space for folks.
yeah.
So what's unique about Schenectady? Like what drew you to work in the Schenectady area, the capital region? What makes Schenectady the, charm of what Jenica does?
Well, I mean, I've been reflecting on this for quite some time, and I have experience doing development in Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts, Illinois, and California. And out of all of the local communities and municipalities that I've worked in across all of those states and Pennsylvania, the the community that is most collaborative and team oriented is Schenectady, with a close second, Long Beach, California, and Northampton, Massachusetts is pretty special too. But Schenectady, at least in the capital region, has a way of it. There's competing interests at the table always, but people are able to concede some of their objectives in order for the larger development initiative to go forward. And that's really what struck me about Schenectady as compared to all of the other municipalities in the capital region, was the teamwork and the collaborative spirit. And that's evidenced in the development that's happened over the past 20 years, right? In downtown and through up through the corridors of Eastern
Mhm.
Avenue, State, Albany, and Broadway to Crane.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that there's, do people have their own agendas? Absolutely. But I do think that at the end of the day, the right people, the right groups, and can get around the table and push a development initiative forward in a meaningful way, in a collaborative way. So that's what drew me to Schenectady.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. So based on what you know now, so here's a good one. What advice would you give your 21-year-old self?
Oh gosh,
Well, you are 21, right?
yeah.
So what would you give
Well, I've
yourself?
been
What
doing
advice
this
would you
for
give yourself
25
today?
years. So, but yeah. Uh, I think that, I read a poem by Andrea Gibson that really struck me recently. Um, she speaks to not trying so hard to do good.
Mm,
We try so hard to do good, um, and I think that we don't have to always strive so hard. I think that you know, and I that's just what's. It sounds like kind of a kooky answer, but that's what's hitting me in this moment, and I don't know that I can elaborate any further on it. But I know I mean, I had my first challenge issued to me was from Habitat, and they said, Jenica, we have never done a blitz build where we have been able to do a blitz build and in 10 days have the certificate of occupancy at the key ceremony so that the family could actually move in. And I'm like, watch it happen.
I'm
And
gonna
it
do,
happened.
I'm gonna do this, and it happened.
And it happened. It was the first time in Habitat's history that we went from concrete pad to certificate of occupancy in 10 days. And that was an example also of the municipality coming together,
Right,
stakeholders coming together, all volunteer labor,
right.
and supported with some subcontractors. But it was energizing the team to focus on one main objective. And that's, one of your other questions is what excites me. That's
Yeah.
what excites me, is like seeing, I was just like, we can do this, you guys. I know it's going to be hard, but we can do this, and just showing up day in and day out. And that's where I really, pushed myself really hard to do good. But it's also the satisfaction of seeing a group of people come together that don't necessarily know one another, but have them focused on their piece of the overall picture of what the goal is, and us realizing the goal. And that's with every one of the development initiatives that I've done in my career, and the teams that I've worked with, is just the looking at how to get a team of people together to accomplish a common objective is so much fun for me.
Absolutely. What is it? Teamwork makes the dream work. So,
Yeah.
And that's that whole thing about doing good, is making that time and that work be as good as it can be. But also, I think part of what you were explaining is that you can't always operate at that high level, because sometimes you have to get into the weeds and really, dissect something in order to come out so that everybody has a piece of that pie. Everybody's got a puzzle piece that they are fitting into a project, so they feel that they're part of that good work.
And they see how their piece, fits
Resonates, how it makes it happen, because that's people need to feel that connection to the community.
Yep.
So, and I think that's what BCNI presents and brings forward every day in their work. So who is your mentor? Did you have a mentor? Did you have a couple of mentors? Talk a little about that.
I personally, I had when I was living in Pittsburgh, I had a friend kind of take me under her wing on a personal level, Kelly Clark. But professionally, Erin Garrity Rank, who was then and still remains the CEO and president of Habitat for Humanity of Greater Los Angeles. I mean, she's like, here, Jenica, this is what I want you to do. Go do it, and just gave me free reign and the resources to be successful at what she was asking me to do. She certainly was a mentor. Joanne Campbell, who I worked with at Valley Community Development Corporation in Northampton, was a mentor and remains a friend. And then, Sue McCann and Beverly Bates at the Community Builders also. I mean, Sue, just as much as Erin said, here, Jenica, yeah, buy this building, even though we have no way to finance it. We don't know what we're doing with this.
Figure it out.
And we don't know what we're doing with parking. Let's buy the building and we'll make it happen. And
Right.
she had a lot of faith in me to advance the objectives of the team. And so those, and they're all women.
Right.
And I also have to say, I had my own contracting business for a spell. It was a women business enterprise in the state of Massachusetts. And there, Doug Cole was a general contractor who also helped me out and gave me some pointers on being on kind of the for-profit side for a moment. So a lot of people in the trades at various levels. And, I've been on a construction site since, my very early 20s.
Right.
So it's, yeah.
So that, and one of the words you brought up there was faith. So I want to just ask this question. What do you want to tell others who work in this same field? I know that one thing you have to have is faith that things will come together, things will work out. But what other advice can you give to folks who are working in the housing arena and affordable housing and home ownership?
It's really, really hard work. And it takes a lot of time and perseverance and fortitude and tenacity. And the biggest thing that, you can do is have faith in yourself. You have a vision, right? And you paint that vision and dream for others that come to the table and ask you, why should I invest in this vision? Why will it be successful? Know that from the outset, and know that anything that's ever worth doing doesn't ever come easy. this is the hardest type of development that you can do because it is so regulated and there is a lot of bureaucracy to get through. But also seeing the state agencies as your team members, not something that you have to fight against, but that you're working with to advance these objectives. Yeah, and the other piece of advice, that I got from very early on from my father was, Jenica, you can do anything that you set your mind to doing. And so that's a part of it also, is having faith, like seeing the vision and believing in yourself that it's going to take time and you can reach these goals by believing in yourself and believing the best in your team members.
Great. Great answer. So what is unique about Jenica? A special talent? Anything that you want to share with the viewers?
Well, I mean, a special talent. I think also a part of that, what excites me,
We can go that way too.
I mean, I think it really is seeing a team of people realize an objective that they've set out to accomplish together, is what excites me. And I guess what's unique and a special talent, or maybe that people don't realize, is that I am first and foremost a cheerleader, which you wouldn't, you have to be. But being an encourager of individual team members and investing in people in a way, in individual team members, that builds the whole of the team and strengthens the whole of the team. I think that's a special talent and what excites me and part of what is unique to me. And then, outside of the professional realm, what's unique to me or a special talent, I could in another lifetime be a race car driver.
Really? So instead you run, right? So you're a runner so that you can always have that need for speed, right? Race car driver. Down the road.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. All right. Anything else you want to tell viewers about? I have to ask your favorite ice cream, because I always ask that question.
Well, I think that I think peanut butter pandemonium from Stewart's.
Yeah, that is is that what that is the little mini Reese's Pieces cups in it?
Yeah, and ribbons of peanut butter. I think it's
yeah.
vanilla ice cream. I haven't had it in a while, but that, maybe Chunky Monkey would be good from Ben and Jerry's. Fit Food is good from Ben and Jerry's.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So we're talking chocolate and peanut butter.
Yeah, I do like peanut butter.
That combo does it for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, what about you?
What's my favorite? I like a black raspberry with some chocolate sprinkles. That's kind of one of mine, but I also like the peanut butter chocolate combo. That speaks to me as well. That could be like on a hamburger and I would eat it. So
oh, that's great. That's great. Good.
Okay, so great. Anything else that you want to share that we haven't talked about BCNI or about Jenica Huff?
BCNI, the biggest thing is that, we're in the community. We want to partner with, both individual homeowners, renters, and other organizations. And we have resources that we're currently administering in a meaningful way. So we have owner-occupied rehab funding to make accessibility modifications, emergency repairs, bring houses up to code so that people can maintain tenancy in their own individually owned homes. We offer down payment assistance. We have $200,000 that we're administering this year to Schenectady, both City of Schenectady and County of Schenectady residents. So that's meaningful. And then we're partnered on larger development initiatives to, right now we're in the process of creating, I think there's about 75 units are in process between, with just BCNI initiatives, and then a larger number through other partnerships. So
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 how do
yeah,
folks, if they're interested in getting more information or speaking with one of your team members about any of these programs, how do we get in contact with BCNI?
great question. So we're our website is a great way to learn more about us, and that's at bcnihousing.org.
Okay,
So that's a great way. And then our you can call our general office line, which that's and I'm always have problems remembering all of the numbers that I do, but it's 518 376. Let me just get to and I'm not going to be able to. It's on our website.
okay, so just go to the website and then you can speak directly to a team member if you call the number. And also, do you have?
72
Okay, go ahead.
7616.
Good.
Yep. 3772 518 372 7616.
Okay,
We have an intake process that will direct your requests for services, whatever they are.
all right.
So,
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And thank you to our guests for joining us here today. And we encourage viewers to check in on every Tuesday and Thursday at noon for different hosts and different guests. Jenica, it has been a true pleasure and honor to speak with you today.
thank you, Kim.